Ladies and gentlemen, this is a story that kind of slipped under the radar and I did not catch it. Now, I did a couple of different videos on Trinity Love Jones. She is the little girl that was beaten to death by her mother's boyfriend, which you see in the middle, and her mother, who absolutely didn't even love her own daughter. So, if you don't remember, Trinity was found in a black suitcase alongside a road in California. And they came across the suitcase because they were clearing the brush on one side of the road. And they came across the suitcase. When they opened up the suitcase, she was dead inside of it. And this poor baby was only 9 years old and probably live one of the toughest life in that 9 years. She just didn't have family that cared enough about her. And her biological father, he just didn't come around like he should have. So the mother side of the family, the father side of the family, they claimed they didn't know what was going on. So nobody was bothering to check on this little girl at all. Nobody on either side of the family. So they did come up with a verdict for the mother and her boyfriend for the murder of Trinity Love Jones. All right. So the mother and her boyfriend were sentenced in the death of 9-year old Trinity Love Jones, whose body was found in a duffel bag in Hacienda Heights. This was 3 years ago. Now, they found her body on March 5th, 2019. And they said she was partially stuffed inside of a duffel bag and thrown down an embarkment area, and that's when they discovered there was a child's body inside of the bag. And a few days went by before they were even able to identify her. They had put out a sketch with, in my opinion, the sketch didn't look anything like her. So that's why it took so long to identify her. And eventually she was identified, and they found evidence of the boyfriend actually beat her up, beat her to death. And the mother, and this just goes to show you there's people out here that will birth children and they don't love their children at all. The mother helped the boyfriend cover the whole thing up. She really shouldn't be called a mother at all. Okay. So at the time, her mother was 31 years old. Her name is Taquesta Graham. Her boyfriend, Emil Hunt, is the boyfriend. He's 42 years old at that particular time. It's been 3 years. So they were ultimately arrested and charged in the murder of Trinity. So in April of 2022, Hunt pled no contest to one count of assault on a child causing her death and was sentenced 25 years to life. Graham, her mother, also pled no contest to second degree murder, and she was sentenced 15 years to life. This is according to the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office. After the body was found and examined by the coroner's office, listen to this. This is just so heartbreaking. Oh, this poor baby. After her body was found, the coroner found evidence that the child was beaten, denied food, had an infection on her feet, which would have made it hard for her to even wear shoes. And they said her body was scarred from head to toe. So she was abused for a long time, y'all, before she was killed. That was not just no one beating. This was probably a lifetime of getting beaten and abused. That's why she was so scarred up. Graham told the investigators that her daughter fell and hit her head 2 weeks before her death, but she didn't take her to the hospital because she was afraid of getting in trouble. This is what her mother claimed. Her mother didn't care about that child. She would not have been scarred from head to toe if she really loved that child. She didn't love her. So she said Trinity had a large lump on her forehead. Her eyes were swollen and she had started to slur her words, the Los Angeles Times reported in 2020. The mother said she noticed that Trinity was having a seizure and but she still went to work that afternoon as the child slept in the back seat of the car. Wow. Let's say all of this is true. You saw all of this happen to your baby and you didn't try to help her at all. You just kind of went on with life. Wow. It's a damn shame that Trinity is the one dead and not these two. So, anyway, Graham said she noticed the child wasn't breathing that night, the Times reported. Graham said she wanted to call 911, but Hunt convinced her to um not to do it. I wouldn't care if he would have said that. That's your baby. That's your daughter. Who the hell cares what some boyfriend said? He doesn't have no connection. That's why he was able to beat her to death because he had no emotional attachment to her. He didn't feel nothing emotionally for her. He was a boyfriend. So anyway, mm, both Graham and Hunt had previous convictions. And unfortunately, her biological father did too. And that's a reason why he was never really around for her. He was another one that was in and out of jail. So Graham was previously found guilty of enticing a minor for prostitution in San Bernardino County. Yeah, such a good woman, isn't she? Wow. This woman is a piece of garbage. Hunt was convicted of child abuse in San Diego County and spent at least a decade in prison, according to a criminal complaint, a sheriff's detective, by a sheriff detective. So he already had a history of child abuse and spent 10 years in jail for previously doing it. So why would you date and have this man in your life that got that kind of background and bring him around your little girl? Wow. I just pray little Trinity has found some peace because she sure couldn't find none when she was alive on this earth. My heart goes out to this little girl. She sure did not deserve to live the rough life that she lived. If only one living soul would have just cared about her, maybe it would have made a difference. It's a darn shame. And of course, after she was dead, the father side of the family was whining and crying, talking about they sorry, they should have seen her more and all that stuff. Nobody wants to hear all of that now. If your intention was to be in this girl's life, you would have been there. You would have been there, period. So, y'all, please tell me what you think. The story is late, but I certainly never forgot about Trinity Love Jones. I never forgot about this little girl from the time I did the story back in 2019. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.